Hey there, I'm Taylor Henry, Realtor with Compass Realty Group. I specialize in recreational land, farmland, vacation homes, agricultural land, anything to do with the outdoors in the Driftless region, I specialize in. I've worked with properties all the way down to Madison, all the way north. Our company stretches all the way to Lake Superior. So if there's anything on the west side of the state that has to do with land or recreational land or vacation homes, we can be your go-to source for that. I'm living and breathing what we are doing. So if you're a farmer or if you're a landowner, recreational owner, vacation home owner, and you're thinking about selling your property, I live that life. I have my own properties that I buy and sell. I farm on the properties I have. So we have cattle, pigs, chickens. I hunt. That was the original reason why I owned or bought property, was because I was so into hunting. And then I speak the language of land. So if we're talking about, how do you decipher between what makes property special, where the value lies within a certain property, because not every property is created equal. So it's our job to try to find the thing that makes your property special, and then find the group of people who want to pay a premium for your property, because you've made a really smart investment. You've done kind of the hard part. You've owned, you've held, and then you've secured the land, and now it's time to really cash out on your investment that has, I'm sure, grown exponentially over the time that you've owned it. We provide a lot of content on this website and provide a lot of sources for information, and we always stay on top of what the market is doing and what the current prices are. Myself, I'm always looking to buy personally as well. So I have to stay on top of what the market trends are in our area. I have a policy that I will make sure to 100% stay in communication with you. We invest in a lot of people to make sure that we're always on the good side of communication with our clients. I think that's one of the biggest things I hear about, and the biggest problems that I faced when I was working with realtors was just the lack of communication. If thinking about working with a realtor, or you've worked with them in the past, and it's the person that maybe answers your first call and gives you a nice, pretty sales pitch, but then they have issues actually maintaining that communication throughout the time they're working with you, that person is caught up in the normal realtor life. They're caught up in having way too many clients that they're trying to service because they're always chasing the next sale. For me, I limit, and you'll see it on this website, I want you to go through the process and make sure that you're ready and you feel educated. But if you aren't, and if we're not the right fit, I'm not afraid of walking away, because it's more important to me to spend my time servicing people in the appropriate and correct way instead of just trying to get as many sales as I possibly can. So I'm much more on the one-to-one interaction. That's really just talking about the interaction with you as a client. But when we get into the presentation of your property, I can guarantee you we are far, far above the competition. I came from doing video production, and we have our own video production team in-house that specializes in real estate shoots. So most likely, if you're seeing a good video done in the area evolved around real estate, it's with my video production specialist. It's a huge piece of listing land and farms and houses. We've sold a lot of properties with the buyer being sight unseen, and it was solely on the fact that there was footage for them to view. From a buying side, we've gone to properties that don't have drone footage, and we throw up our own drone and get them that footage as quickly as possible. It's really important to us. As far as that too, the marketing side of things, that is, something that I do specialize in. I work with multiple real estate agencies across the Midwest, helping them with their marketing. But then we also provide, a really high-end service to my personal realtor business. And we have markets that aren't necessarily, any realtor is going to put it on MLS. They're going to put it on their website. And, I'd question whether or not their website was very good or not. Our website is very good. It performs really well, especially when we put our listings on there. The strongest part of what we do is we work in consulting for hunting and farming people who are getting into farming or getting into hunting or buying properties. We work on the consultation side of things. So we have a buyer base that is most likely, most realtors don't have access to, just because of the time that we spend on like outside of other transactions. So that's why I, limit the people I'm working with, because I'm out helping people across the Midwest, transform their properties. And then the people that are actually serious about selling or buying, they get access to that market. So I have an amazing market of buyers waiting to acquire land, and they're high-end buyers, like people willing to invest a lot of money in buying land. And in our area, it's special in the sense that people are coming all over the country, and you could get a little nervous about that, and you could be concerned about that. But in my experience, it is really good intention money. Like, money is coming from out of the area to invest in our resources and our land with good intentions. We're preserving more and more land. That's what people don't talk about much, is how emotional like the actual transfer of selling land is. It's unlike other investments where you sell your stock and it's not there's no emotion attached to it really. You sell even houses, people that do real estate investing in houses, there isn't the same emotional interaction with it. It's kind of like selling your family home in a way, that same emotional connection, but on every piece of property most likely that you've spent time on. I feel for anybody who sells their land. I'm super happy for them because they actually cash out their investment, and it sets up their family and then either their life or their family for multiple generations. But I am sensitive to that, and I want to make sure we work through that. And I think the thing that alleviates some of that problem is making sure that you feel comfortable with the person that's buying it. So we go through that with the people buying. We want to make sure we understand their intentions, because it isn't always about money. If you want to tell me that I just want to get the highest dollar amount, we can go that route. We can do that, and we can negotiate on your behalf with that. But if there's emotional ties to it, and you want to make sure that it's going somewhere, and we want to make sure that we know the person's intentions with what they're going to do with the property, we've done that a lot of times. We make sure it kind of fits in line with what you're doing. Or even if you want to put in some kind of reservations with your property to make sure it's kept a certain way, or there's certain things that are done to it, we've worked through things like that too. I do have good experience with working with 1031 exchanges, alleviating some tax burden on people. I always tell people to make sure that they consult with their accountants or their attorneys. But we do have good experience with alleviating some tax burden when it comes to capital gains, either through 1031 exchanges or through land contracts and personal mortgages. So seller financing, the things where we get really more in the weeds on real estate transactions, we have really solid experience with that. The back end of the company that I operate under has really good transactional coordinators, and that's what I mean. I invest in people. I invest in this whole process throughout the real estate transaction to make sure that I am doing what I should be doing, what I'm good at, talking about land, selling land, buying land, making sure you understand the process. But the people who are in the contractual area of our business, they always overview everything. We run things by attorneys, we run things by real estate attorneys, and we make sure that you are properly protected and set up in the best way. So we are an open book. We've been through most of the questions or concerns that you may have probably, and the best way to get started is to go through this questionnaire and to make sure that we can start working together. And I'll tell you a little bit about how the process goes. You fill out this form, we will set up a call or a meeting, and it can be in person or it can be a quick phone call just to answer some initial questions. But making sure you go through and fill out this form, I know it's probably kind of long and it's a thorough thing. I spend more time making sure our processes are clean so that when you and I are interacting, it's more about what your needs are and how we can get those things accomplished instead of kind of wasting time. Like, I'm big on efficiency. I'm big on working with our clients, and we have different packages available. We have to just kind of figure out where you are right now. So that's what this form does. You're not tied to anything, you're not doing anything, you're not signing anything, you're just filling this form out, and then we'll have a conversation and we'll try to get you where you need to go. So I'm looking forward to working with you. Congratulations again on owning an awesome property in this area. This area is one of the most attractive places for people interested in owning recreational land. We live in a gorgeous area, and it's time for you to cash out on your investment and hopefully live a very relaxing and calm rest of your life with a bunch of financial security. So looking forward to it. Thank you for jumping on this page, and can't wait to get started.